They ruled Broadway and Hollywood, but for decades, something kept Barbra Streisand and Liza Minnelli apart. Now, at 82, Barbra is finally breaking her silence. She's revealing the truth about what Judy Garland whispered to her in 1963, the painful moments that made her avoid live performances, and what really happened when she and Liza locked eyes at award shows after years of speculation. Her book exposes a long-kept secret between two of entertainment's most legendary icons, a revelation no one saw coming. Barbra's journey was never easy. Born in Brooklyn on April 24, 1942, her childhood was marked by loss and rejection. At just 15 months old, her father, Emanuel Strand, died suddenly, leaving her mother, Diana, struggling to raise two children alone. Money was scarce, and their home was filled with tension. When Diana remarried Lou Keane, Barbra longed for his approval, but he never accepted her. No matter how hard she tried, crawling on the floor to avoid blocking his TV or calling him Dad, she was met with cold indifference. Her mother wasn't much better. Instead of nurturing Barbra's talent, she criticized her looks, telling her she wasn't pretty enough for show business. "Learn to type," she told her, dismissing Barbra's dreams. But Barbra had other plans. Music became her refuge. Singing on neighborhood stoops and at weddings, she found solace in performing. By 16, she had made up her mind. She was leaving home to chase her dreams. Moving into cheap apartments, scraping by with odd jobs, and taking whatever singing lessons she could afford, she refused to quit. She had no backup plan. Initially, she dreamed of acting, mesmerized by a performance of The Diary of Anne Frank on Broadway when she was just 14. She spent hours at the library studying legendary performers, absorbing every technique she could. In high school, she honed her craft, singing alongside future star Neil Diamond in the school choir. But rejection followed her at every turn. Audition after audition led nowhere. With nowhere to sleep, she carried an army cot, just in case. Her mother begged her to give up, but Barbra wouldn't stop. Then, everything changed. In 1960, her boyfriend, Barry Dennen, convinced her to enter a talent contest at the Lion, a Greenwich Village nightclub. Until that moment, she never considered singing as her way in. But Barry had secretly recorded her voice and knew she had something special. When she stepped on stage, the audience fell silent, captivated. And when she finished, they erupted in applause. That moment was the turning point. The contest win led to a steady gig at the Lion, then an audition at Bonsoir, where she landed a contract for $125 a week, her first real paycheck as a performer. Executives suggested she change her nose, undergo surgery, conform to Hollywood beauty standards. But Barbra refused. Instead, she let her voice do the talking. Her performances of A Sleepin' Bee and other ballads left audiences spellbound. She wasn't going to be another cookie-cutter star. She was going to be Barbra Streisand. By 1962, Broadway came calling. At just 20 years old, she landed a role in I Can Get It For You Wholesale, playing the scene-stealing Yetta Tessie Marmelstein. Her comedic timing, her voice, everything about her performance was electric. The New York Times took notice. Groucho Marx himself joked about her stealing the spotlight. The show only lasted 300 performances, but Barbra, she was unforgettable. She earned a Tony nomination and met Elliott Gould, her co-star. Their chemistry turned real, leading to a whirlwind romance and marriage in 1963. Then came the role that changed everything. In 1964, Barbra became Fanny Brice in Funny Girl, the musical that would cement her legacy. The moment she belted out People, it was clear. This wasn't just a star. This was a phenomenon. Hollywood quickly took notice. By 1968, she was bringing Funny Girl to the big screen. It was a massive hit, and at just 26, she won an Academy Award for Best Actress. But behind the scenes, her rise was anything but smooth. Her perfectionism led to clashes with directors. After rejecting his advances, he made it his mission to torment her. He whispered insults mid-performance, refused to look at her on stage, and humiliated her night after night. The result? Deep scars. Despite her Oscars, Grammys, and record-breaking albums, The fear of performing live consumed her. She stopped touring in 1966 and didn't return for 27 years. Then, in 1994, she shattered the silence. Her comeback was nothing short of legendary. Announcing a return to the stage, tickets sold out in an hour. More than 5 million people fought to see her, and the tour grossed $50 million, smashing attendance records city after city. The final show in Anaheim aired as Barbra, the concert on HBO, drawing 11 million viewers, making it the highest-rated musical event in the network's history. The album went triple platinum. The message was clear. Streisand was back, and she was stronger than ever. But fame comes at a cost. In 2019, she ignited a firestorm with her comments about Michael Jackson's accusers in the Leaving Neverland documentary. While she expressed belief in their allegations, she followed it with a shocking remark, saying Jackson's sexual needs were his sexual needs, and that the victims had been thrilled to be there. The backlash was instant. Fans were horrified. The documentary's director, Dan Reed, publicly questioned her words. Under immense pressure, she issued a formal apology, but the controversy refused to fade. Just a few years later, another offhand remark about weight loss medications thrust her into the spotlight again, sparking debate over Hollywood's obsession with body image. Even an icon like Streisand wasn't immune to public scrutiny. Throughout her career, her appearance was a constant topic of discussion. Critics fixated on her nose, suggesting she undergo surgery to conform to Hollywood's rigid beauty standards. But she refused. "My nose is part of my heritage," she once said, never bowing to industry expectations. That defiance made her a symbol of self-acceptance, proving talent was more powerful than conventional beauty. Her personal life was equally captivating. She married actor Elliot Gould in 1963, and together they had a son, Jason. But as her fame skyrocketed, their relationship crumbled. By 1969, they had separated, and in 1971, their divorce was final. Rumors of affairs followed her, especially during the filming of Funny Girl, where sparks flew between her and co-star Omar Sharif. Then there were whispers about her and Prince Charles. In 1974, when he visited her on set, the British press went wild over the way he admired her. Even Bill Clinton's name was thrown into speculation, with reports claiming she was his favorite singer. But through it all, Streisand remained an enigma, fiercely guarding her private life. Love found her again in 1996, when she met James Brolin. This time, it was different. They built a relationship away from the chaos of fame, keeping separate bank accounts and maintaining their independence. Humor played a huge role. She left him notes around the house, small surprises that kept their bond strong. It was a love that lasted. And then there was the secret no one expected, Streisand's teenage shoplifting phase. Before she was a star, she devised an elaborate scheme, using discarded store receipts to get refunds for items she never bought. It was a thrill until she was caught. The shame stopped her in her tracks. She never stole again. Her memoir revealed it all, not as a scandal, but as a reminder that even legends have their rebellious moments. Her struggles weren't just internal. The industry itself tried to tear her down. Her Funny Girl co-star, Sidney Chaplin, wasn't just cruel. He waged psychological warfare against her, whispering insults during performances, sabotaging scenes, turning what should have been her golden moment into a nightmare. Even fellow actors spread lies. Walter Matthau, for one, was led to believe she mistreated Chaplin, adding fuel to the fire of Hollywood's relentless gossip machine. But through it all, Streisand found true allies. One of her most cherished friendships was with Judy Garland. When they performed together in 1963, the media tried to spin it as a rivalry, but the reality was far from it. Garland was warm, encouraging, and even offered a chilling warning: "Don't let them do to you what they did to me." Those words stayed with Streisand long after Garland's tragic passing. Even Liza Minnelli, Garland's daughter, was caught in the media's attempt to pit women against each other. Rumors of feuds between Streisand and Minnelli swirled, but in truth, they shared mutual admiration. It was Minnelli who, years later, unknowingly helped Streisand overcome her fear of live performances. Watching Minnelli command the stage gave her the push she needed to reclaim her own. Barbra Streisand's legacy is one of triumph, resilience, and reinvention. Through scandal, heartbreak, and public scrutiny,